Hello and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be taking you through the day's biggest news stories from across India and the world. Let's begin with the top stories. On the first anniversary of the Fit India movement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gives the mantra of healthy living. Fitness ki dose, aadha ghanta roz. Holds Fit India dialogue with celebrities and ordinary citizens. Also launches Fit India age-appropriate fitness protocols. Record productivity in Parliament during monsoon session. 27 bills passed from both houses, including 11 that replace ordinances. Many important bills related to health, labour, economy and agricultural reform get the Parliament's nod. President Ramnath Kovind confers the National Service Scheme Award to 42 winners for 2018-19. Praises NSS volunteers for their contribution in the war against COVID-19. Farm bills passed in Parliament will bring revolutionary changes in the lives of farmers, says Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. Also accuses the opposition of spreading lies among the farmers. And India slams Pakistan at UNHRC for continuing to interfere in India's internal matters, exercises its right to reply, says Pakistan's sole aim is to distract attention of the international community from serious human rights violations against its own people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with fitness experts and influencers from across the country to mark the one-year anniversary of Fit India movement on Thursday. At the online dialogue, the Prime Minister introduced the country to his latest slogan for a Fit India, Fitness ki dose, aadha ghanta roz, urging Indians to play some game or do some fitness activity for at least half an hour every day.
सार में श्रम, सफलता, भाग्य सब कुछ आरोग्य पर, हेल्थ पर ही निर्भर करता है.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing the Fit India dialogue on Thursday on completion of 1 year of the Fit India movement. The Prime Minister said fitness has got a new definition during COVID times and has now become a people's movement. He expressed happiness that people of different age groups are now conscious of eating healthy food and staying fit.
साथियों, फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट ने अपना एक साल एक ऐसे समय में पूरा किया है जिसमें करीब करीब 6 महीने अनेक प्रकार के रिस्ट्रिक्शन के बीच हमें गुजारा करना पड़ा है. लेकिन फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट ने अपने प्रभाव और प्रासंगिकता को इस कोरोना काल में सिद्ध करके दिखाया है. वाकई फिट रहना उतना मुश्किल काम नहीं है जितना कुछ लोगों को लगता है. थोड़े से नियम से और थोड़े से परिश्रम से आप हमेशा स्वस्थ रह सकते हैं. फिटनेस की डोज, आधा घंटा रोज. मैं दोबारा सुनाता हूं. फिटनेस की डोज, आधा घंटा रोज. इस मंत्र में सभी का स्वास्थ्य, सभी का सुख छिपा हुआ है.
Through the online dialogue, the Prime Minister interacted with fitness enthusiasts from diverse fields, including sportspersons like cricketer Virat Kohli, Paralympic javelin gold medalist Devendra Jhajaria, and women footballer from Jammu and Kashmir, Afsha Ashik. The session was also attended by Bollywood actor and runner Milind Soman, nutritionist Rijita Divekar, fitness expert Mukul Kanitkar, and Swami Shivadhyanam Saraswati. Speaking to Virat Kohli, Prime Minister Modi said he was keen to know what the yo-yo test is and asked if the captain also has to pass it or he gets spared.
टीम के लिए एक यो-यो टेस्ट हो रहा है. क्या ये कैप्टन को भी ये यो-यो टेस्ट करवाना पड़ता है कि आपको छुट्टी होती है? और यो-यो टेस्ट होता क्या है? क्या 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 करना पड़ता है?
सर टेस्ट ये बहुत जरूरी था फिटनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। अगर आप ग्लोबल फिटनेस लेवल्स की बात करें तो बाकी टीमों से हमारा लेवल अभी भी कम है, और हम चाहते हैं कि वो लेवल हम ऊपर लेके जाएं। जो एक बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट है आज की डेट में, हम लोग फोकस करते हैं कि जैसे T20 मैच हो गया या वनडे मैच हो गया, वो एक दिन में खत्म हो जाता है। लेकिन अगर हम टेस्ट मैच की बात करें जो 5 दिन आपको खेलना है, हर शाम को आपको वापस जाना है, अगले दिन फ्रेश आना है, तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये फिटनेस जो स्टैंडर्ड था वो बहुत जरूरी था। और मैं सबसे पहले मैं ही जाके भागता हूँ, और ये कंडीशन है कि अगर मैं भी फेल हो जाऊंगा तो सिलेक्शन के लिए मैं भी अवेलेबल नहीं हूँ।
देवेंद्र जी, आप एक
Paralympian Devendra Jhajaria stressed on the importance of not giving up in the face of hardships. Prime Minister Modi appreciated his strength in the face of adversity.
शरीर में तकलीफ होने के बावजूद भी आप अपने फिटनेस रूटीन को जिस प्रकार से मेंटेन किया है और जिस प्रकार से आपने दुनिया में भारत का झंडा फहराया है, तो जरूर आपसे देश कुछ सुनना चाहेगा और मैं भी सुनना चाहूंगा।
9 साल की उम्र थी तो बिजली का करंट लगने से मुझे हाथ गंवाना पड़ा, और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जब हॉस्पिटल से मैं निकल रहा था तो ऐसा लगा कि मैंने सब कुछ खो दिया मेरी लाइफ में। लेकिन जब मैं घर पे पहुंचा तो माताजी ने कहा कि जाइए बाहर खेलिए आप। मैंने कहा कैसे खेलूं, अब मेरे तो हाथ ही नहीं है। लेकिन माताजी ने कहा कुछ नहीं बिगड़ा आपका, आप बाहर निकलिए, खेलिए बच्चों के साथ, आप भी औरों जैसे ही हैं। तो मैंने उस दिन घर से बाहर निकल के सोचा कि मैं कमजोर नहीं कहलाऊंगा, मैं सबसे फिट बन के दिखाऊंगा। उसके बाद खेल की शुरुआत की और 2 बार गोल्ड मेडल लिया पैरालंपिक्स में, 2 बार वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक किया मैंने।
The Prime Minister also had encouraging words for Afsha, the 25-year-old woman footballer from Jammu and Kashmir.
एक कश्मीर की बेटियों के लिए, देश के लिए भी एक इंस्पिरेशन है, लेकिन कश्मीर की बेटियों के लिए आप एक बहुत बड़ा इंस्पिरेशन बन गई हैं।
मैं जब भी बाहर जाती हूँ तो लड़कियों को एक्सरसाइजेस करते हुए, वॉक करते हुए या ग्राउंड में देखती हूँ तो मुझे बहुत ही खुशी होती है कि हमारे JNK स्टेट की लड़कियां भी आगे आ रही है। नॉट इवन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, ऑल ओवर कंट्री जितनी भी लड़कियां उनको आगे आना चाहिए, ना कि पीछे रहना चाहिए। हमें अपनी बात हर किसी के सामने रखनी चाहिए और खुद को फिट रखना चाहिए।
With actor and fitness icon Milind Soman, the Prime Minister shared a light-hearted conversation, complimenting him for his fitness regime that makes him look younger than his age.
कुछ अलग का ही सवाल पूछ लेता हूँ आपको। ये जो ऑनलाइन आपकी उम्र के विषय में बताया जाता है, क्या वही उम्र है कि कुछ और है?
तो बहुत लोग मुझे पूछते हैं कि आपकी उम्र अभी 55 साल की है, तो मैं उनसे कहता हूं, और आप इतने मतलब आयरन मैन किया है, अल्ट्रामैन किया, मैराथन दौड़ते हैं, 100 किलोमीटर दौड़ते हैं, 400-500 किलोमीटर दौड़ते हैं। 2012 में मैं दिल्ली से बॉम्बे भी दौड़ा था। तो लोग पूछते हैं कि इतनी उम्र में आप ये कैसे कर सकते हो? तो मैं उनसे कहता हूं कि मेरी मां है, 81 साल की है अभी, तो वो जो कर सकती है वो मैं सोचता हूं जब मैं उनकी उम्र तक पहुंचूंगा मुझे वैसा बनना है।
Nutritionist Rujita Divekar spoke about how healthy living means sticking to simple homemade food, while Swami Shivadhyanam Saraswati stressed on the importance of yoga and discipline.
अपने जीवन में शामिल करके योग का अधिकतम लाभ ले सकते हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also launched the Fit India age-appropriate fitness protocols during the online Fit India dialogue. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on, President Ramnath Kovind conferred the National Service Scheme Awards for the year 2018-19 from Rashtrapati Bhavan through virtual mode.
Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju attended the ceremony from Vigyan Bhavan. The National Service Scheme Awards for the year 2018-19 were given to 42 awardees in 3 different categories like university, NSS units and their program officers and NSS volunteers. Speaking on the occasion, the President said that the NSS scheme aims at education through service. He added that service leads to character building and personality development. He also said it was a matter of happiness that about 40 lakh young students are serving the nation by joining the NSS and that so far 4 crore volunteers have contributed through this scheme. The President said in the fight against the global epidemic COVID-19, NSS volunteers have created awareness about social distancing and the use of face masks.
कोविड-19 के महामारी ने संपूर्ण विश्व को गंभीर विपदा में डाल दिया है। इस विपदा के अनेक आयाम हैं। यह मात्र एक स्वास्थ्य संबंधी समस्या ही नहीं है, अपितु इससे जुड़ी आर्थिक और सामाजिक कठिनाइयां सभी के जीवन को प्रभावित कर रही हैं। इस वैश्विक महामारी के विरुद्ध संघर्ष में राष्ट्रीय सेवा योजना के स्वयंसेवकों ने सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग तथा मास्क के प्रयोग के लिए जागरूक बनाया है। क्वारंटीन के दौरान लोगों तक खाद्य सामग्री एवं अन्य उपयोगी वस्तुएं पहुंचाने में योगदान दिया है।
Department of Youth Affairs confers the National Service Scheme Award every year to recognize and reward outstanding contributions towards voluntary community service. NSS was launched in the year 1969 to develop the personality of the country's youth and their character through voluntary community service.
The just concluded monsoon session of Parliament saw high productivity in both houses despite being held under strict COVID-19 measures. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said 27 bills were passed by Parliament, which, according to him, is the best ever rate of passage of bills per day at 2.7 bills per day. More details in this report.
Held amid strict COVID-19 protocol, the recently concluded monsoon session saw over 100% productivity in both houses. Both houses had 10 sittings over 10 days that included Saturday and Sunday. Lok Sabha had a productivity of 167%, while Rajya Sabha had a productivity of 100.47%. All 11 ordinances promulgated ahead of the session were replaced with legislations. In its 252nd session, the Rajya Sabha continued with the high productivity trend from previous sessions. The Rajya Sabha passed 25 bills, while 6 new bills were introduced in the upper house. 198 members took part in debates on various bills. During the session, the government gave written replies to 1,567 unstarred questions. 92 issues of public importance were raised in the 0 hour, while 66 such issues were raised through special mentions. The House also discussed in detail the COVID-19 situation and the situation on India's borders with China in Ladakh.
Total of 25 bills have been passed and 6 bills have been introduced. The productivity of the House during this session has been 100.47% as against the scheduled available time of 38 hours and 30 minutes. The actual functional time of the House has been 38 hours and 41 minutes. I am happy to inform you that the new normal of high productivity witnessed during the last 3 sessions has continued during this session as well. As a result, the overall productivity of the last 4 sessions come to a praiseworthy 96.13%.
In the 4th session of the 17th Lok Sabha, 16 bills were introduced, 25 bills were passed during 10 sittings, 68% time was spent in legislative business, while 32% time for non-legislative work. Ministers replied to 2,300 unstarred questions. Members raised 370 matters of public importance during 0 hour.
वैश्विक महामारी के दौरान भी इस सत्र में कार्य उत्पादकता 167% रही, जो अन्य सत्रों की तुलना से अधिक है। इस सत्र के दौरान हमने 10 बैठकें की, जो बिना किसी अवकाश के शनिवार और रविवार को भी आयोजित की गई। इन बैठकों के लिए निर्धारित कुल 37 घंटों की तुलना में कुल 60 घंटे की कार्रवाई संपन्न हुई।
During the monsoon session, the Parliament passed some key legislations to reform various sectors, including agriculture, health, labour, economy and education. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the session was cut short by 8 days due to the COVID-19 pandemic after transaction of essential business. With inputs from Arvind Kumar Singh and Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has said that the farm bills passed in Parliament will bring revolutionary changes in the lives of farmers. Tomar said that farmers' welfare would not have been possible without changing the laws. Assuring that minimum support price will continue, Tomar said that MSP has never been a part of law and that the opposition was making it an issue because it has nothing else to criticize in the bill. He added that farm bills will free farmers from the shackles of APMC and give them the freedom to choose where they want to sell.
APMC की जंजीरों में जो झगड़ा हुआ था उसको मुक्त करने वाले हैं, आज़ाद करने वाले हैं और जो छोटा किसान है उसे भी अपने उत्पादन की बुआई के समय गारंटी मिल सके और वो महंगी फसलों की ओर आकर्षित हो सके, वो नई टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग कर सके और साथ ही साथ वह निजी निवेश को अपने तरफ आकर्षित कर सके। इस दृष्टि से ये दोनों बिल बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण हैं, किसान के जीवन स्तर में क्रांतिकारी बदलाव लाने वाले हैं। एपीएमसी मंडियों में टैक्स लगता है। हमारा जो विधेयक है इसके माध्यम से एपीएमसी प्रेमाइसेस के बाहर जो किसान ट्रेड करेगा उस पर न तो राज्य का टैक्स लगेगा और न केंद्र का टैक्स लगेगा। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से जो मंडी की जंजीरों में वो जकड़ा हुआ था, इस एक्ट के बाद वो मुक्त हो सका है और अब अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यापार वो कर सकता है और किसी भी व्यापारी से वो कह सकता है कि मेरा माल इतने का है, आप लो तो ठीक है, न लो तो ठीक है।
India has once again slammed Pakistan at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva for continuing to interfere in India's internal matters. Exercising India's right to reply in response to Pakistan at the UNHRC, India's first secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, Vimarsh Aryan, said that Pakistan's sole aim is to distract the attention of the international community from serious human rights violations against its own people. He said Pakistan is committing gross human rights violations in the Indian territories occupied by it. He also said that while Pakistan pretends to speak for human rights, it is unleashing cross-border terrorism in India and targeting innocent lives.
It is very unfortunate to witness incessant and insensible ranting by Pakistan on issues that are extraneous to the mandate of this council and which relate to the internal affairs of India. Pakistan's sole objective as a member of this council is to distract the attention of international community from serious human rights violations committed by it against its own people and in the Indian territories occupied by it. In these extraordinary times of pandemic, when everyone is putting on a mask for the safety and protection of fellow human beings, Pakistan unfortunately is using another kind of pernicious mask to masquerade as a champion of human rights that it itself violates egregiously by torturing and persecuting minorities.
The Ministry of External Affairs has said that there will soon be a meeting of the WMCC between India and China to further review the process of de-escalation and disengagement. Spokesperson in the Ministry of External Affairs, Anurag Srivastava, said on Thursday that the solution of the present stalemate would require mutually agreed reciprocal actions.
The way ahead will be to refrain from making any attempts to unilaterally change the status quo while the two sides continue their discussions to achieve complete disengagement in all friction areas to ensure full restoration of peace and tranquility in the border areas. In this regard, the two sides have also decided to have the next meeting of the senior commanders at the earliest. In parallel, the next meeting of the WMCC is also likely to take place soon.
Cross-border terrorism, blocking connectivity and trade obstruction are among the key challenges that the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation must overcome to ensure lasting peace and security in the region. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said this on Thursday. Addressing an informal virtual meeting of foreign ministers of the 8-member grouping, Dr. Jaishankar also called for a collective resolve to defeat the scourge of terrorism, including the forces that nurture, support, and also encourage it. He reaffirmed India's commitment to its neighborhood first policy and towards building a connected, integrated, and prosperous South Asia. And External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has also assured all possible help and support to Central Asian countries in combating the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic. Interacting with foreign ministers of CICA, the Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, S. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's support for initiatives on peace, security, and prosperity in Asia. The interaction that took place virtually on Thursday was organized to discuss the impending issues before the member countries of CICA, that is headed by Kazakhstan at present. There are 27 member countries of CICA from different regions of Asia, including Iran and Israel, with 8 observer countries. Time for a short break here, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Vishal Dahiya, at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
The prolific British poet and story writer Joseph Rudyard Kipling, one of the first masters of short stories in English. In 1894 appeared his Jungle Book, which became a children's classic all over the world. Kim, the story of Kimball O'Hara and his adventures in the Himalayas, is perhaps his most felicitous work published. Set in and concerned with India he had come to know and love so well. In 1907, Kipling became the first English language writer to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Let's now take a look at the latest COVID-19 situation in the country.
India on Thursday reported 86,508 new COVID-19 cases and 1,129 deaths. With this, the total infections in the country have now crossed 57 lakh. Recoveries crossed 46.74 lakh, while 91,149 people have lost their lives. For the 6th consecutive day, recoveries surpassed fresh cases, with 87,374 people recovering from the infection on Thursday morning. The overall recovery rate in the country is 81.55%. 17 states now have more new recoveries than new cases. 75% of the new recovered cases are being reported from just 10 states: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Delhi, Kerala, West Bengal and Haryana. However, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh reported the highest increase in cases in the last 24 hours. While Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal reported the highest increase in the number of deaths in the same period. India tested over 11.56 lakh samples on Wednesday, taking the total testing to 6.74 crore. The positivity rate is 9.1%. At 0.2% growth, active cases have declined as compared to last week, when India reported a growth rate of 1.4%. India has the highest number of recoveries in the world, but also has the second highest coronavirus caseload, accounting for 19% of all cases in the world. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India's Bharat Biotech has collaborated with a US university to manufacture a single-dose intranasal COVID-19 vaccine. Bharat Biotech signed a licensing agreement with Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis for a novel chimp adenovirus vaccine for COVID-19. The phase 1 trials of the vaccine will take place in St. Louis University's Vaccine and Treatment Evaluation Unit. Bharat Biotech will pursue next stages of clinical trials in India after getting regulatory approval. Further, the company will undertake large-scale manufacturing of the vaccine at its GMP facility in Hyderabad's Genome Valley. It plans to manufacture 1 billion doses of the vaccine. The company said an intranasal vaccine will not only be simpler to administer, but will reduce the use of medical consumables, including needles and syringes. Bharat Biotech's Covaxin vaccine is undergoing phase 2 human clinical trials in India. Meanwhile, in another development, Johnson & Johnson has started the final study of a single-shot COVID-19 vaccine among 60,000 volunteers. The company hopes to simplify distribution and mass immunization with a single dose. The results of the phase 3 trials are expected by the end of this year or early next year. Other vaccines from Moderna, Pfizer and AstraZeneca all require 2 shots separated by several weeks, which make them more difficult to administer. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has warned that there is no guarantee any COVID-19 vaccine under development will work. Minister of State for Railways Suresh Angadi died of COVID-19 on Wednesday. He is the first union minister to succumb to the deadly virus. President Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and several union ministers paid tribute to the departed leader.
The 65-year-old BJP MP passed away around 8 p.m. at the AIIMS Trauma Centre in Delhi. Angadi is survived by his wife and 2 daughters. A 4th-term parliamentarian from Belgavi in Karnataka, Angadi had on 11th September announced on Twitter that he had contracted the disease and had requested all those who came in close contact with him in the previous days to monitor their health and get tested in case of any symptoms. The national flag was flown at half-mast in all government offices in Delhi. President, Vice President and the Prime Minister have expressed grief over his demise. President Ramnath Kovind said Suresh Angadi was an amiable leader who worked tirelessly for the people of his constituency, Belgavi and Karnataka. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said he was deeply shocked by the sudden demise of Suresh Angadi. Condoling his death, Prime Minister Modi called Suresh Angadi an exceptional Karyakarta who worked hard to make the party strong in Karnataka. Modi said he was a dedicated MP and effective minister who was admired across the spectrum. Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal and BJP President JP Nadda have also expressed grief over the passing away of Suresh Angadi. The Union Cabinet also condoled the demise of Angadi and said the nation has lost an eminent leader, educationist, distinguished parliamentarian and able administrator. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Gujarat Education Minister Bhupendra Singh Chudasama was conferred with the Best MLA Award for 2020, while Congress legislator Mohan Singh Rathwar received the honour for 2019 in the State Assembly on Thursday. Gujarat Assembly Speaker Rajendra Trivedi announced the awards on the 4th day of the State Assembly's monsoon session. Both legislators received a silver trophy from Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. Earlier, Gujarat Assembly passed a bill for the constitution of an authority to develop pilgrimage infrastructure and amenities at Ambaji town in Banaskantha district. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu paid tribute to freedom fighter Bhikaji Kama on her birth anniversary. Kama was a freedom fighter who also fought for the place of women in society. In his message, the Vice President said Bhikaji Kama played a crucial role in taking Indian freedom struggle to foreign lands. He remembered her as an advocate of women's rights and a preacher of equality. She will always be remembered for her fight against the British rule and her compassion for the needy. The Mangalyaan mission, which was initially meant to last 6 months, has completed 6 years of orbiting Mars. In the last 6 years, the Mars Orbiter Mission, or MOM, which is India's first interplanetary endeavour, has helped India's space agency prepare a Martian atlas based on the images provided by the orbiter. We leave you with some visuals sent back by Mangalyaan. You picture this, and thank you very much for watching.